In space, no one can hear you scream. That was the tagline for this genre-defining film that reminded audiences, no matter where you are in the universe, horror can always find you.
Danger. The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Space is a cold, empty, foreboding, desolate place. But in its vast oceans of seemingly void darkness, are you ever actually alone? Closing out one of cinema's greatest decades, the skies opened and a movie, as well as a monster that was unforgettably terrifying, emerged and sent both moviegoers and even veteran film critics running out of the theaters. Alien. Released in 1979 and directed by a young Ridley Scott. The film would manage to be both traditional in its inspirations of past science fiction films and yet so groundbreakingly new in its dark and claustrophobic way of pulling us through a sadistic, haunted roller coaster ride of fear and paranoia.
Get out of there!
Set in space. Almost like a slasher film, haunted house film, and outer space adventure rolled into one. The film would feel unlike anything audiences had ever witnessed. Extraordinarily recognizable and influential artist H.R. Giger lent his stunningly horrific imagination to the film, to create a creature and a world that had producers of the movie shaking in their executive boots. A bold choice, but wisely insisted upon by Ridley Scott. That would lead to one of horror's most magnificent monsters, the Xenomorph. A nearly unkillable beast from the darkest labyrinth of one's nightmares, hell-bent on stalking you. A hunter that hardly gives its prey even a single light of hope. Its veins filled with acid. Harming it could be suicide. It blends into darkness. It camouflages into the ship's interiors, and it can be in the walls, above you, under you, and before you can even inhale to scream. In space, miles away from life it seems. How close can such a thing get to you? So close, you can't even see it.
What's it got down his throat?
I would suggest it's feeding him oxygen.
Paralyzes him, puts him in a coma. Keeps him alive. What the hell is that?
Tonight's scene. Horror can be at its best when it is like tragedy, unexpected, devastating, and leaving you with the knowledge that you are helpless. You are left to fear. What could possibly be next? The crew of the Nostromo, a freight ship, responds to a distress call coming from a nearby moon.
Seems she has intercepted a transmission of unknown origin. She got us up to check it out.
A transmission? Out here?
Yeah.
What kind of a transmission?
Acoustical beacon. It repeats at intervals of 12 seconds.
SOS.
I don't know.
Human?
Unknown.
During their investigation, though, a member of the crew is seemingly attacked by something that is not immediately identifiable. After being relocated to the Nostromo's medical bay, he is discovered to have some kind of alien creature tightly hugging his face, with no clear signs of how to safely remove it.
What the hell is that?
Who is he?
Until suddenly, after some time passes, the creature seems to have let go and perished. At first, things seem fine for both the man, the crew, and the audience. Later, when a much more relaxed crew are having dinner together, laughing, enjoying their time, happy to see things returning to normal, this happens.
The first thing that I'm going to do when I get back is to get some decent food.
I can dig it, man. I'm telling you, I've eaten worse food than this, but then I tastes better, you know what I'm saying?
The other one over there.
You pound down the stuff like this.
Listen, I'd rather be eating something else, but right now I'm thinking food.
You just know you know what it's made of.
No, man. I don't want to talk about what it's made of. I'm eating this. What's the matter? The food ain't that bad, baby.
You choking?
What's wrong?
What's wrong?
What?
I'm trying!
Oh, God!
No, don't touch it! Don't touch it!
And now, with an escaped creature on board and one crew member dead, the true horrors for those that remain have just begun. In 1979, a mainstream audience had never seen anything quite like this. And during a time when movies respected surprising their viewers, this moment was an unexpected shock that caused moviegoers to scream, run, or even faint. This iconic moment was even a shock to the cast members, as they were not told what they were about to witness. So their reaction to a bloodied creature emerging from a crewmate's chest are genuine. Screenwriter Dan O'Bannon was actually quoted in saying that the writing of this scene was inspired by his own Crohn's disease, and added, "The digestion process felt like something bubbling inside of me, struggling to get out." For me, this is a great deal of what horror is about. Called an acquired taste, but horror can be such an interesting and artistic take on the pieces of ourselves that lurk beneath our surface. A man's pain, expressively used to fictionally create another man's pain, brought us one of film's unforgettable moments. And while not exclusive to horror, it does have that special ingredient that carves itself just a little deeper into our psyche and makes itself all the more difficult to forget, like fingerprints on your mind that cannot be washed away. The imagery and sounds of this scene are never forgotten. From the blood splashing against the white surfaces and the scream both human and alien, to the confused expressions that leave the room in a space-like silence just after. They all take hold of us in real time, making us, the viewer, a crew member of the Nostromo, unsure if we want to scream or, in disbelief, stare off into space. What is so particularly frightening about that scene goes back to what I asked earlier about how close can such a thing get to you. So close, you can't even see it. So close, it's literally on the inside of you. All because you chose to get too close, letting curiosity get the better of you. The cat being killed by curiosity is a frightening concept to me, as is the idea of something like the facehugger planting something akin to a parasite inside of you, and it then nesting inside of you until it's capable of making its lethal escape. But like great horror, it just loves to get under your skin.